It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good Monday morning for September the 9th. Walk This Way, Aerosmith. A song, lyrically anyway, inspired from the band taking a day off in the studio and going to see Young Frankenstein. That's a true story.
Yeah.
They took it. They were in New York City. They went to a movie theater in Times Square. They saw Young Frankenstein. There's the very famous "Walk This Way" joke. And Steven Tyler, walking back to the studio, was laughing about it. One thing leads to another, and suddenly we've got an innuendo-laden sex romp from Aerosmith, just the way God intended it to be. But that's a long story for. Well, it's not for another day. I just told it. Let's get to the top 5 at 6. Let's get the week off on the right foot. Here we go. Number 5. The Como Zoo welcomes the birth of 2 very rare Amur tiger cubs, or if you prefer to say Siberian tigers, go for it. That's right. The first cubs to be born at the zoo in more than 40 years. Siberian tigers, very, very few of those left, and now there's 2 new ones over at the Como Park Zoo. Isn't that nice?
It's weird that they're caging tigers at the Como Zoo, but why not?
Well, I get the point. I totally get it. I just like the fact that the mom's name is Bernadette and the dad's name is Tsar, T-S-A-R, like Tsar. A little tip of the cap to the Russian past, I guess. Fewer than 500 remain in the wild. So I guess it's a good thing. To your point, Zepp, yeah, as soon as you said that, I'm like, yeah, what the hell are we doing? What are we doing caging tigers?
Well, it's I'm sure they'll make a nice home for someone. Someone go set them free, like a Free Willy thing. Get those tigers out of there.
Setting Free the Tigers. That makes me think. The first John Irving book, I believe, is called Setting Free the Bears. So there's your roadmap. Just go read John Irving. It'll all make sense. Let's get on with it. Number 2 on your top 5 at 6. The NFL season started over the weekend, as we all know. Right now, the average fan for a hot dog and a beer is going to pay $15.02 across the league. The most expensive stadium for a hot dog and a beer, Seattle, where it's going to cost you $19.98. Let's just call it $20. I was actually surprised. I would have thought it would be even more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bargain. I'm just saying I thought they were going to say $30.
It's a lot cheaper in my living room, and no one's going to spill my expensive beer for me.
Well, it is always happier. I'm happier if I spill on myself rather than a stranger.
Yeah, exactly.
At least you're going to be mad at yourself. I was surprised because I will just say, and we'll talk about this a little later in the show, Outlaw Music Festival Friday night, I bought 2 beers and it was $600. I was like, whoa. Hold on a minute.
Well, you got the commemorative cup, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, Willie Nelson poured it himself. I didn't realize that was part of the program there. So hot dog and a beer for the record here in Minnesota. Let's scroll on down the list and see that. Oh, there it is. A hot dog, a beer's $11.50, a hot dog $7. Yeah, again, I actually expected it to be worse, so I'm not going to complain too much. I'm also not going to a game yet, so I'll complain when I get there. Number 3 on your top 5 at 6, The Tonight Show, the NBC staple. Jimmy Fallon has been the host now for way longer than I ever imagined would be possible when he started. Anybody remember his first week as the Tonight Show host?
Nope.
It was kind of that Miss Teen USA. I think that the educational system. He was way deer in the headlights. Go look it up. It's pretty rough. He's obviously come around. He's doing very well these days. So well, in fact, that NBC said, you know what? Take Fridays off. He's only doing 4 nights a week now. God bless him. That whole. By the way, that whole 4-day work week, in my mind, I didn't expect that to first apply to late show talk show hosts who make millions of dollars a month at their jobs. But hey, Jimmy, if they give you the night off, give you the night off. If you're a fan of the Tonight Show, Friday's going to be a rerun. I don't know what else to tell you.
He's getting a little older. He needs more time for his fake laugh muscles to recover,
Wow. Yeah, no kidding. Number 2 on your top 5 at 6. It is September the 9th, and I'm sure you're going, yeah, I know. Well, did you know that it's the most common birthday in the U.S.? Yes, indeed.
79.
More Americans have a birthday today than any other day. September 19th is next, followed by September 12th, all of which tells me people are getting busy around the holidays. And, and we're seeing the results here.
Oh, yeah. You get into January, then the cold months. There's not much else to do but, procreate.
Yeah,
but it's not just the Midwest. It's everybody.
No, it's everyone.
And there are things to do if you're down south, I would think.
Is there? You're just guessing, though.
Go to the beach. I don't know.
I'm just saying, from Thanksgiving to Christmas, way too many of us are having way too many extra cocktails, clearly. By the way, the most common month, the most babies are born in August, but September has the top 3 days itself, if you will. And then, of course, February has the least, but that's because it has the fewest days. It all kind of makes sense the more you think about it. And finally, your number one story on your top 5 at 6. How about the Minnesota Vikings? Sam Darnold going for they're 1-0 right now, and I think we should take every single day and use the word undefeated as often as we can until week 2 happens. A 28-6 win on the road over the moribund New York Football Giants. But hey, man, I mean, to this guy's eye, Sam Darnold looked like an NFL quarterback. It was a fun game to watch.
Yeah, he looked damn good, I thought, and came out, I think he was 12 for 12 before he missed one, something like that. Justin Jefferson here talking about it.
We literally just worked on that play a few days ago, and we didn't connect on that play. So just communicating with each other, trying to make sure that we're on the same page. I'm in the right spot. He's throwing it to the right spot. And, everything that we talked about happened exactly out there on that play. And it was a beautiful ball. It was a wonderful start. Just giving him that confidence, giving him that juice to throw me a ball whenever it's double. Because I was double during that play, and him throwing it to a spot and me going to get it, that's going to happen majority of the time during the season. He got to understand, even when I'm doubled, I'm still open. JJ
very excited. And, yeah, he's going to be in double coverage all season. So you like to see Sam Darnold making those passes. Yeah, it looked fantastic. The offensive line looked great. The defense looked pretty solid. Again, it's the Giants. They're almost a gimme team. They look just awful. I don't know if you guys saw any of the post game where what's-his-face, Daniel Jones leaving the stadium. They just ripped it. How would you like to leave the stadium in New York?
And your own fans are waiting to just crush you as you walk by.
My! They just gave it, and it's face-to-face, and they were burning his jersey in the parking lot in front of him. Hey, all right, go home and have a beer, and we'll see you tomorrow at practice.
I never thought I'd say that New York could out-Philly, but they did last night. That was absolutely brutal. To your point, Zepp, he started 12 for 12, 19 of 24 when it was all said and done. The only real problem, the interception he threw, to be fair, his arm was, as he was throwing the ball, a defender got a hold of his arm. So that's one of those things. Otherwise, a pretty clean day for Sam Darnold. Could have been a lot worse. And with the Niners coming into town on a short week, hey, man, hope springs eternal. What are you going to do?
Why not?
Hey, Roseville, what's happening? Good morning, everybody up in Roseville. Very happy to know we've got a lot of listeners in Roseville today and most days. And what a lovely part of town. We're just right around the corner from where we sit today.
Yeah, love me some Roseville. The Rosedale Mall, they're doing all the techie things over there now, They got the virtual gaming and everything, so I find myself popping in there from time to time to geek out in Roseville.
And by the way, the Roseville and Rosedale thing, good job confusing me the first couple months I was in town. I was like, wait, which is it? I'm so very confused. Well, these things kind of happen. But anyway, I do want to ask you guys a question. And yes, it's kind of rhetorical. But you know those experiments, or you read something, they'll say, if you take a human tooth and put it in a glass of Coca-Cola, it'll dissolve entirely in 6 hours or something like that. There's always a thing basically reminding you that soft drinks are like, you can clean a car battery with them, and why are you drinking it? Well, interestingly enough, I now know how long it takes for your snot to dissolve a piece of Legos. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good morning. Monday morning, September 9th. The Vikings are 1-0, and I'm feeling pretty good. Pretty good. I enjoy myself some football. There's even more tonight. I mean, it's a glorious time of year. The only drag to this time of year for me is that my wife has fall allergies. And so I'm walking around making sure there's plenty of Kleenex everywhere my wife goes. I mean, It's just a concern of ours. You know what I'm saying? And then there's eye drops, and then there's nasal spray. And basically, I've just learned if I prepare and if I get in front of it, then my life's a lot easier. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just trying to nip this thing at the bud. I'm trying to cut it off at the pass because if I ignore it, then I get in trouble. That's really where I'm going with this. Fall allergies are a very real thing. There's a dude in Phoenix, Arizona named Andy Norton, and he's had allergies his whole life. It's not seasonal. It's like year round. He says, he's allergic to cats, dogs, grass, many native trees, dust. He gets up, literally dust. He's lived his life with congestion issues. And he said, every day I get up and I take a hot shower and then I have to blow my nose. It's a nonstop. It's just his life. It's his. That's who it is every single day. And then a crazy thing happened not that long ago during his morning ritual shower. Here's Andy Norton.
I was in the shower, and my doctor has told me that with the dry, hot summer months, it's really helpful to blow your nose while you're in the shower. So I've been regularly doing this for the last, 6 months or so. Today, I was blowing my nose in the shower, and lo and behold, I blew out a Lego dot.
What?
That has been in my nose for at least 26 years.
Wow,
Oh, my God.
Idiot.
A Lego dot.
A dot.
What's a dot?
Just a tiny little round piece that fits on the
How the Legos
raised
stick
area.
together,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
I see what you're saying. Just one of the little connectors.
It's a connector piece. And this is going back, just to give you the math here, he's figured out it's about 1998 when he decided to put a Lego dot up into his nose as a little kid.
the 90s.
Yeah, and then he told his parents finally couldn't get it out because what happened was then he knew that thing was stuck. He took another Lego piece and tried to stick it up there to knock the first one out. Again, he was a little kid. That's little kid logic. I totally get it.
Right.
And his parents were able to pull the second piece out, but they saw no sign of the little Lego dot. And they just said, well, you must be fine. And the kid said, at the time, I was in pain for a few days, but they thought, it was just the trauma of sticking it up there in the first place. Literally 26 years of walking around with this thing up his nose. And like I said before, I mean, what kind of mucus are you producing where you're not just going to dissolve that thing over 26 years? Come on.
Yeah, I have acid. I just eats through tissue. I can't even use regular Kleenex. I have to use aluminum foil to blow my nose. That's how powerful it is. Has he even had allergies, or has it just been this damn Lego dot stuck up his nose all these years?
He's about to find out. I mean, he did say he's breathing in a way he's never been able to breathe, deep, full inhales through his nose. He just never understood how much he was missing out on. I would be willing to risk getting in trouble with the folks at PETA. I think we should experiment with Chauncey's congestion. We could pick a piece of Lego up my dog's nose. It'll be gone in 72 hours. I promise you.
What if maybe that's the problem? Maybe he has a piece of Lego stuck up his nose all these years.
Holy crap.
It has nothing to do with his organs being backward. Hard to know. But this Andy guy is going to go from just being the dork, just the dork walking around. Oh, it's Andy, always blowing his nose, snotty Andy, just like the coolest kid on the block. He's going to start getting dates, going to turn his life right around. I'm thinking now of a friend of mine, Jane. Jane, if you're out there, I know you listen from time to time, 651-989-ROCK, 10 years ago, was showing us that old bar trick, and I've watched her do it a few times. She takes floss.
Oh yeah,
I like a spaghetti noodle up the nose and out the throat, right? And then she flosses the nose, throat, the old sinus cavity.
Yeah.
And we're at the bar one night, and she does it and can't find the floss. The floss doesn't come out. And we said, well, you must have swallowed it. She said, I would feel it if I swallowed it. So then we would check back with her when we would get together for a happy hour every once in a while, and the floss never came out. It's up there.
I wouldn't be able to. I would go to the ER and I'd say, "Open my face up, get this thing out." I couldn't. I would never sleep again if I knew I had floss in my sinus cavities.
It'd be a tickler up there, wouldn't it? Just a piece of floss.
Yeah.
That'd drive me crazy, man.
Jeff Cease, the original guitarist in the Black Crowes, who has played with Eric Church for the last 25 years. That guy. The floss trick. First time I ever saw it, I just stared at him and thought, he's either the coolest guy in the world or I got to get away from him. I couldn't decide in real time. I was eating macaroni and cheese as a kid, and I inhaled one little elbow macaroni, and I was like, and it came out my nose.
Yeah.
And it was traumatizing. I mean, I was still young enough where I didn't have any concept of these systems operating together. Like, wait a minute, it was in my mouth and then it came out my nose. I was like, this is like something on Star Trek to me. Like, wait a minute, this is not supposed to happen. And I thought literally, like, I can't even tell my mom about this because it probably means I'm going to die and she'll be upset.
Could have come out your eye. Could have been worse.
Yeah.
Could have had cheesy eye.
It just went right up your sinus cavity into your brain and got lodged in there.
That could have very well have happened. Maybe that's why I can't remember anything except all the stuff I remember. It's it's like, yes, the most unnecessary trivia. Yes, please give it to me. My children's middle names. I'm sorry, who? Yeah, it's tough. It's that we've all got crosses to bear. But you know what? Hey, as long as we're looking back on snorting mac and cheese. On this day, September 9th, 1960, the inaugural AFL game. Back in the day, there was the National Football League, and then in 1960, the upstart American Football League debuted. The Denver Broncos played the Boston Patriots, and they beat them 13-10. The Broncos, of course, have endured the test of time. Didn't have a winning season until 1973 after debuting in 1960. But the Boston Patriots, of course, had a rough first season and then, in fact, moved from Boston down to Foxborough. And when they did, they renamed the team. They said, well, we're not in Boston anymore. They originally renamed the Patriots the Bay State Patriots. The Bay State Patriots. The Boston Globe immediately referred to them in headlines as the BS Patriots. It took a few months before the front office went, hang on, this is not going to work well. Maybe we go with New England. But it was just getting ahead of the jump. It was 40 years early because around 2001 or 2, the rest of the world started calling them the bullshit Patriots for about 20 years, if memory serves.
Right, exactly. I like the fact that they just didn't consider Massachusetts a state whose name is so, I don't know, awkward. That no, we're not. There's no way we're going with Massachusetts. What about Bay City? Okay, yeah, I like that better than Massachusetts.
It's one of those things. Well, the Bay State sounds fun. We're the Bay State. No one knows that you're the Bay State. But like I said, and if I were in charge back then, I would have scuttled the entire team because God knows I hate the Patriots. Okay, that's just me. On this day in 1972. Olympic thievery. The Soviet Union defeated the United States in men's basketball at the Munich Olympics 51-50. Easily the most controversial game in international basketball history. The U.S. was leading 50-49, 3 seconds on the clock, and the final 3 seconds were replayed 3 times until the Soviets were finally given the win. The U.S. team, in protest, refused to go to the medal ceremony. They never accepted their silver medals. Those medals are all still in a vault in Switzerland to this day because the U.S. men's basketball team appropriately told the IOC to go stick them where the sun don't shine.
Really? They just didn't melt them back down and make them into nice rings. What year was this?
72, the Munich Olympics.
Yeah.
If you ever Google that and watch how they replayed the final 3 seconds 3 times, I mean, it was so over the top, paid off. The refs were like, the Soviets basically had someone held hostage and said, you're either going to help us win or we're wiping out your family. It's insane. And let me tell you who wasn't happy that day. Don Gorman.
Don, was it? The duck wasn't digging it?
God.
Yeah.
These Soviet bastards. And then you make the mistake of saying, well, why do the Russians hate us? And he'd go, it's not the Russians, it's the Soviets. Russia's just one member of the Soviet Union. You see, son, you've got Uzbekistan, you've got Kakistan. He would go into a history lesson about, I'm like, just let me blame the Russians. Don't get specific with me, Dad. He was a stickler for details. It's the Soviets, not the Russians are fine people, generally speaking. It's the Soviet Union I have a problem. Whatever, Dad, okay? Anyway, his idea of a good Thanksgiving dinner conversation was, I think where it all went south in Vietnam, son, was the day that military history. We're trying to have Thanksgiving, Dad. Come on.
Did he clink his glass before he would say that?
I'm really glad we could all be here today. I'd like to re-examine the Tet Offensive on Christmas Day.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Monday, September the 9th. Good morning. And good morning to Shakopee, Minnesota. A lot of people down in Shakopee rocking out, getting ready to start the day. And we just wanted to give a little tip of the cap. I've not spent a lot of time in Shakopee, I'm not going to lie to you. But, Zepp, I know you got arrested down there more than once.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever been booked in Scott County, so I've got that on my to-do list. But didn't they just have the big doobie dabbler down there? Wasn't that in Shakopee? Was that down by Chaska?
Yeah.
No, is that a Canterbury, the big
I believe
doobie?
so, yeah.
I did not get out to the doobie dabbler this weekend, but I did dabble in a little doobie. But, yeah, no, Shakopee for a good time.
A little dab will do you. That's what they tell me.
Uh-huh.
What was that? What was that product? A little dab will do you.
It was a hair
Brill
gel,
cream?
wasn't it? Like Brill cream, something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, sure was. A little dab will do you. And then there was Grecian Formula was another hair product that I recall seeing in the Doc's medicine cabinet. Grecian Formula.
To take away the gray.
That's it. Take away the gray, yeah.
And my dad was a flat top all the way, so he didn't have the hair goo when we were growing up. But I remember Grease Day at school, and everybody was dressing up like the 50s, right? And I wanted to slick my hair back. All the guys were slicking their hair back. Their dads had hair gel, sophisticated gentlemen of the 1970s. But my parents didn't, so I used, what's that, petroleum jelly?
You used Vaseline?
Yeah, Vaseline, that's it.
Yes!
I used Vaseline, and I really gooped it on there. And I remember it was like Stickum, the old football players, used to wear the Stickum. Everyone that touched me, it was just everywhere. And it took about 8 days to wash out of my hair.
I was going to say that the remedy for that may have been just shave your head.
Yeah,
that probably would have been easier. Just be done with it.
I would not give Dad the satisfaction.
The Lester Hayes of the farm. I like that.
That's right. Lester Hayes. That's what it was. And Fred Bolitnikoff, too. I think he's the one that got Lester started on that Stickum stuff. But, yeah.
Makes perfect sense to me. I'm sure we all remember going back in time, the Alfred Hitchcock film The Birds. Come on, we've all seen The Birds, and it's kind of terrifying. It's it's unsettling, especially as a kid. Anthony, when I'm a kid and I'm seeing The Birds come on, I'm like, this stupid black and white movies aren't. This so all of a sudden I'm like trying to tell them. I had a thing with black and white TV and movies as a kid. If it was black and white, I was like, that's old stuff. That doesn't matter anymore. And then, of course, I'm watching The Birds and I get freaked out. And I'm like looking in the backyard the next day. I'm watching like a robin thinking, here it comes. It's going to get me. But by the way, real birds, the birds in Hitchcock's film have nothing on real birds in Colorado. They're looking at Alfred Hitchcock and going, dude, we got you beat by a mile. Check this out. Birds are starting forest fires now. They're like, yeah, we're not going to break into your window, climb through the attic, and peck your eyes out. We'll just burn thousands of acres. How about that? The revenge of the birds. This is a true thing. Electrocuted, flaming bird carcasses are falling off of power lines and causing wildfires.
Yeah.
I believe the Japanese word is kamikaze.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what it is. Here's a biologist, because he has no personality, Taylor Barnes, talking about it.
Most often when a bird is electrocuted, it doesn't catch fire, and then we don't hear about it. Sometimes they burst into flames, sometimes they just fall dead. Sometimes what can happen is insects can get inside that cap. Well, that attracts birds. Birds like to eat insects, in particular woodpeckers and crows. Something like that could have sat on that jumper wire and pecked into that arrestor cap, trying to get at the insects, making contact with the energized components, and then causing it to...
All right, thank
Precisely.
you, Taylor. Thank you. All right. He's very excited.
If I listen to that guy for more than like 70 seconds, I would fall asleep and probably somehow start a fire. I'd fall out of my chair, and then suddenly the studio would be on fire. That's exactly what this guy's trying to make happen. Think about that. I've never seen a bird electrocuted, but I've seen squirrels. I have seen flying dead squirrels on the power transformers on a pole. It sounds like an M80 goes off, and then boom, and you look up and see a squirrel flying through the air. A few times as a kid, that would happen, and then the power's out for an hour, and the guy has to come up and climb the pole and reset something because the damn squirrel got up there and blew himself up.
Well, better the squirrel than the guy that went up the pole. Did you guys ever have that at school? We had a guy that, when they come to school and they have the assembly and they want to, teach you how not, they give you the, the old scare story. But we had a guy who showed up with no feet or hands. Mm-hmm. And he was he worked on one of these, he was an electrician, worked up there on the pole out on the highway. And, touched something that he shouldn't have touched or didn't ground something he shouldn't have grounded. And it blew out his hands and feet. I just remember being a little kid horrified. He would talk about, they pulled the rubber boots off and they just dumped my feet out. They were just ashes, like your mom and dad's ashtray. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy smokes.
I wouldn't even plug the fan in at home. Brian, could you plug the fan in? No, because I like my hands and feet. I'm terrified of electricity today. Yeah.
You know what? We share that. I am terrified of electricity, and I used to go and people, and I would mention that to people, and they'd be like, I'd be on the road. I'm on tour. I'm on a stage. I'm surrounded by billions of volts. Everything's plugged in, lights and all this crap, and I'm like, man. If I'm plugging in the toaster, I will, before I plug it in, I will take what do you call the thing you actually plug in? The
prongs.
Thank you. Yeah. I will put the prongs into my shirt and make sure there's no, just to wipe them off, to make sure there's no condensation, which will electrocute me. I'm obsessed with that. I hate plugging stuff in. I'm always worried about it. My brother, Tom, was a cable installer in the 70s. Started off, he's a cable TV guy his whole life, but he started off the dude who would climb the pole and hook up a cable line. So he was well-versed in those sort of things. One of the crazy Gorman moments of my childhood, watching my dad get shown up by my brother, and Tom was the hippie stoner guitar player brother too, which is always funny when he would correct my dad. But another brother was on the house cleaning out the gutters. Climb up there and get those gutters. There's leaves. And so Dave runs up the ladder, and he's just scooting on his butt along the gutter, and there's a power line that connects from the top of the house to the power pole across the yard. And my brother's just getting closer and closer. And then Tom, the cable installer, walks out, looks up, and he goes, Dave, don't move, freeze. And he's like, what? And he goes, just move to your right, just scoot away. And my dad's watching this. He goes, what the hell's your problem? And Tom goes, Dad, he's 1 foot away from, if he bumps against that cable, he's going to be electrocuted. And my dad was like, you don't know what you're talking about. And Tom goes, no, actually I do. And your son's about to die. And my dad wanted to have
many of them, though.
My dad wanted to have the argument right there. And he's like, yeah, are you sure about that? And it was just a great standoff. And we're all like, man, Dave, you almost died up there. And Dave's like, yeah, but it was cool seeing Tom put Dad in his place. I mean, our priorities were totally off base, a little askew to say the very least about it. But that would have been the all-time. That would have been the all-time. I can't believe this actually happened. That's the dumbest thing I've ever happened. Dumbest thing that has ever happened to a member of the family. We all have those stories. You look back and you're like, I can't believe I did that. The dumbest injuries or that either you or you've seen someone else do, the list goes on forever. And I saw one over the weekend. And it wasn't me, it wasn't you, it wasn't a normal guy, an actual professional athlete. One of the greatest dumb injuries I've seen in years. We'll examine. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Monday, September the 9th. Good morning. Sitting here, as I do, listening to music during the break, headphones on, and I'm rocking out to Van Halen's Running with the Devil. I've heard that song about 1 million times in my life, and I'm sitting here, and when they get to the very end and it's going, I'm throwing my head back and forth a little bit. I'm not full on Beavis and Butthead headbanging, but I'm close. And then it occurs to me, I really shouldn't do that because my neck is a mess because I threw my head around like an idiot for years playing drums.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly getting chiropractors, masseuse, they all know my neck because it's a mess. These are and I didn't have to do it. I get captivated by the rock. I get carried away. These things happen. Between that and the lack of hearing, I really did a number on myself. And I look back and go, yeah, it's kind of stupid, but it was fun. But sometimes we hurt ourselves and we can at least say it was fun along the way. And sometimes it's not even just guys like us. It's not even gals like us. I just saw this the other day and honestly, it made me feel better about myself. Croy Bethune, if you don't know who this is, she's a soccer player. She plays for the U.S. women's national team. She's a rookie in the NWSL for the Washington Spirit. She's a great player. She's going to be one of the future stars of American soccer. Croy Bethune went out to a Washington Nationals game last month to throw out the first pitch. And she walks out onto the field. She's got the gold medal from the Olympics around her neck, and the place is cheering. And she throws the first pitch. Here it is. Whoom, throws it in. Catcher catches it. She walks over to him. They take the picture. And as she's leaving the field, she's like a little bit of a limp, almost, kinda, maybe. Yeah, she tore her meniscus throwing the first pitch out.
Oh, well, you can't, if you're a soccer player, go out and try and play real sports. Come on.
I'm okay. You guys have a good rest of the day. I'm going to take my leave. I know. I'm kidding. She walks out there and literally, I've thrown out a first pitch a time or two, and the last thing on my mind was anything being injured other than my ego. You know what I mean? It never occurred to me I could possibly throw my knee out. One of the most bizarre things ever. And I just think, we've all had those moments. We've all done the thing where you look back and you tell the story and everyone laughs and it's kind of funny, but not really because it happened to you, not someone else.
Yeah, here I am making fun of this athlete, Bethune, one of our gold-winning soccer players, for tearing her meniscus in this silly fashion. You know how I tore my meniscus?
How's that?
I got out of the car with 2 bags of groceries and kicked the car door shut with my leg and tore my meniscus taking the groceries into the house. So I wish I had a sexy story like a first pitch or something like that, but no, not so much.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong one. I do remember a kid who played for the Colorado Rockies named Clint Barnes. This is years ago. This is probably almost 20 years ago. And I remember hearing that he broke his collarbone because he was carrying a load of deer meat his teammate had given him. And he put it on his back, and it was a little too much, and he got a little wobbly. And I'm sure it hurt. I'm sure it was really bad. But I just loved the idea of all the things to be carrying just a load of deer meat. That's what he blamed it on. Oh, it was a little heavier than I was expecting. And I thought, yeah, that's pretty good, man. I like a guy lugging deer meat around. My favorite ever great athlete injury, although he's not a great athlete, but a kid named Marty Cordova playing for the Baltimore Orioles. He had to sit out a couple games because of the burns on his body. The burns he got because he fell asleep in a tanning bed.
Wow.
Can you imagine? You're a professional athlete, and baseball of all the sports is the most you're going to get ribbed by teammates. There's so much shtick in a dugout. They're ruthless. And you walk in after missing a couple of games because of your tanning bed sunburn. That's top notch, man.
Yeah, that is. I mean, you're gonna get a nickname out of that too. I don't know what it is, old bedburn or whatever, but. Yeah, that's silly. That's dumb. I would have definitely made up a lie, like I was dragging people out of a burning house, something like that.
I always say that, like, yeah, no, that orphanage was on fire. I had to go in there. This ankle twist. This ankle twist. I had 4 children in my arms.
I had to get stitches on my finger one time because I was bored. And I used a stapler. I wanted to see what it felt like, and I put some staples into my finger.
Oh, my God. Yeah, Tony, by the way, stitches in your fingers, I don't know how that worked for you, but incredibly painful. They could not deaden the pain. I did the same thing trying to clip my fingernails because I'm a psycho about clipping my fingernails with a knife, with a pocket knife. I was like, well, I'll just trim it up here a little bit, and I just... Yeah, clip the end of my finger off a little bit. And 3 stitches in there. And they gave me the old, well, we're not going to be able to deaden the pain. We just can't quite get to it there at the end of your finger. So 3 stitches with no painkiller. Wow. And now I not only use fingernail clippers, but those plastic kitty ones.
Yeah, we're both in Mensa apparently.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I can understand Zepp. The knife to the nails. That's what tough guys do. Tony, you left out the part where you were clearly tripping on mushrooms.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, we'll detail it.
651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. Dumb injuries. Here's one from Jim, who happens to be Ryder's dad on the text line.
Hey.
Morning, Dad.
Awesome.
20 feet up on a ladder, working on the house with a drill, starting to fall, and instead of dropping the drill, I squeezed the trigger and drilled a hole in my leg.
Oh, no.
Do you remember that one, Ryder?
I don't. That must have been before my time.
Wow.
I remember seeing pictures of Dad on the ladder, but no, not with the hole drilled into his thigh.
Oh, that's a beauty there.
Oh, man. It's funny. That reminds me. I mentioned earlier, we're talking about dumb injuries and then seeing your dad do something silly. There was already a thing when my brother had to talk him down off of an argument they had over which power line would kill my other brother. Mm-hmm. And then we also spoke earlier in the show about how Zepp and I are terrified of electricity. My dad had a hedge trimmer that was plugged into the extension cords, and he dragged the cords right where the 2 cords connected. He dragged it across the patio right through a puddle. And he took a jolt so hard that he just fell over like an oak tree and laid there like, and we were like, did we just watch our dad get electrocuted? And it wasn't enough to, obviously didn't kill him, and I don't even think he had smoke coming out of his shoes, but it jolted him really hard. And we were all just like, holy crap.
Can we laugh at this? Should we not laugh at this? Yeah.
Oh, there was no laughing at all until we knew he was in his car and across town the next day. Oh, and then we laughed. Make no mistake about that. The dumb injuries. I knocked myself out once. With a buddy, and we were doing something about we were talking about wrestling and just goofing off in a hallway, and I put him in like a headlock, and then I let him go as if I'd won the match. And I went to celebrate by jumping in the air and pumping my fist. And I didn't realize I was in a hallway. I was standing in a doorway, where the fire doors that are opened in this hallway. So I was standing at a place where right over my head by about 12 inches was the drop ceiling. I mean, it was like the door jam. Yeah. And I leapt into the air and I came to laying on the floor. I was only out for a second or 2, but that was it. And I just was like, what's happening here? And they were like, you should go to the hospital. You probably have a concussion. And I wouldn't go because I couldn't stand the thought of saying, well, I was doing a wrestling move and I was pretending I had just knocked a guy out, so I jumped up and smashed my head into the door jamb. Probably looking back now, I probably should have gone and had an x-ray, because that's just not the kind of thing a smart person does.
Well, right? I mean, now I'm remembering the time that, because you mentioned going into the doctor and having to fess up to the stupid thing that you did, we're out studying for finals in a park. We decided to go to the park, have a couple of beers, and we're going to study for, study I'm using in quotations, but we're literally going to study. and they had one of these little roller wheels. Like, think of the hamster in the wheel, right? But they have one of these for kids at the park. I jump in there along with our nose tackle, Pat Riddell, who comes in at about 300 bills. And we're in there, and I fall, and he goes up, I go down, and he lands. His back lands on my face, breaks my nose, breaks my cheekbones.
Oh,
right. So we got to go to the hospital. There's blood everywhere. And then I had to tell them that I got hurt, like, basically on a merry-go-round for kids. But it was, the little roller thing. Built for 4-year-olds at the park. That was a lot of fun.
That's always a tough one. When I broke not one but two of my two arms playing basketball, when I was in the ER, I was in a lot of pain, but it was so embarrassing because every single person I encountered, they said, "Car accident?" I was like, "No, basketball." They're like, "What? Car accident?" I was like, and finally I was like, yeah, I was in a convertible. I was trying to do a loop-de-loop like on my Hot Wheels track, and I just missed. Like, no, I'm the guy who breaks his arms playing basketball. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. Tony, who have we got?
We got Dwayne lined up on line 1, then we can go to Patrick.
Dwayne, good morning, sir.
How you doing?
All good, brother. Give me your favorite band.
Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes.
Attaboy. What about your favorite team? Any sport?
We'll go all Wild.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it, baby. All right, what do you got for us, Dwayne? What's your story?
All right. Well, when I was a younger man, I decided to go out partying. The next morning, we had a tea time at 10 o'clock and went out golfing. And I was beating my uncle, who I was very competitive with. My ball landed about 3 feet from an electrical box. And if he says, if I move it, it's a stroke. So I was like, I'll just go punch it out. And when I went for my backstroke, I was like, F it, I'm going for it. I swung, and my club hit the top of the electrical box and blew my forearm bone out my skin.
No.
Come again?
So I got a plate and 6 screws.
That's a hell of a backswing. It just hit the top of the electrical box, and that was enough to throw a major charge. Say that again. It blew your forearm bone. What bone is that? Connected to the elbow. Out your skin?
Yep.
What the hell,
I mean,
man?
oh my God, you must have sculled the shot. I hate that for your round.
Yeah.
Well, I really didn't care about that because my club broke, but it also sounded like a tree branch snapping. So,
Lord help us! Dwayne has raised the bar considerably in less than 1 minute. I've never heard of anything like that, Dwayne. That's amazing.
Did you start a forest fire?
Oh, hell no. I went to the hospital and I told them to stitch it up and let me go home. And they said, no, you're having surgery. And they gave me a shot of morphine. And I was
there you go.
Then.
Yeah, right. How's the golf game now?
Shot a 95 this weekend, so.
Hell yeah.
That'll work. All
right on. Dwayne, thank you for the call and that story. That is top shelf, brother. Very well delivered.
God, man.
If you got time, I got one quick one. Went to go see the Oasis and the Black Crowes. Pre-gaming.
Yeah.
My buddy had a BB gun in his garage. He pumped it one time and went to shoot me in the calf.
Well, as you do.
Yeah, well, of course, because who doesn't shoot their friend with a BB gun?
One pump.
My buddy left it pumped 10 times.
Oops.
So it went through my jeans and is still in my calf.
Hey, a little souvenir for the show.
Did you still make the gig?
Oh, goddamn right I did.
Attaboy.
Yeah. Woo!
I like this guy.
Right on, Dwayne. I appreciate it. Over at the XL Energy Center. I remember that one. That was a good one. Dwayne, thank you, brother. You're 2 for 2 with us. Well done. Quit while you're ahead. We got to move on. I believe Patrick is also on hold. Is that correct?
That's right.
Patrick, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, favorite band, Patrick. Who you got?
I got to go with Zeppelin.
That'll work. Favorite team, any sport?
Any sport, I got to go with the Vikings with the big win.
Hell yeah, you do. Man, the levee broke for the Giants yesterday. All right, Patrick, what have you got for us?
Nice one. When I was a younger lad, we used to lower the hoops in gym class. And Shaquille O'Neal was pretty big at that time, breaking the rims and all. So I went up to slam dunk it and was screaming, and the basketball net caught my tooth and ripped my tooth out.
Oh no!
See it coming.
Oh my God!
And I knew I was in trouble. You got it, because when the teacher came running over, he swore. Right away, just did OSH. I started crying. I didn't feel nothing. It just went numb. But right when that teacher swore, I knew, by God, this is bad.
Yeah, you get a teacher to cuss in horror. You've done your job for sure.
Going to the nurse and going to the dentist and all that, they're all like, "You did what?" My dad's like, "Only my son."
Yeah, right.
Don't leave out the part where you lowered the rims, though. It sounds more impressive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Patrick, that is awesome. Very well done, sir. Thank you for the call. All right, we got to keep moving quickly. I think we got Floyd. Is Floyd still with us? Floyd.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Floyd. Give me your favorite band.
Man, I got to go with Leonard Skinner.
That'll work. Favorite team, any sport?
We're going to go with Minnesota Twins.
Nice. All right, what do you got for us?
Well, I just want to talk about everybody's favorite sport, pickleball. In high school, I am not proud of this. I was a little blazed up. We're playing pickleball, and I was really good at playing pickleball. I could pretty much make any shot you sent my way, and those damn wiffle balls, they float in the air, just insane. It's not like a tennis ball.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they do curves and spins, so this ball's coming at me. It's almost in front of my face. And I have the pickleball paddle, if you know what those look like. It's a big, solid wood mallet, like Dazed and Confused you get spanked with. Have it by my chest. The ball's almost at my face, and I push forward with that mallet. And somehow I catch the tip of my nose. And I stub my nose about a half an inch over on my face. Blood out in front of the whole entire school gym.
Yeah, you did.
But say the Effenheimer and walk to the nurse's office. Tell anybody my story because it happened in front of like 50 people. And yeah, it was pretty embarrassing.
How's that nose looking these days?
The nose is looking pretty good, but I've had it broke a couple more times.
Well, that's just a guy going about his business. You know, that's life in these. That's life in these rough and tumble streets. Floyd, thank you for the call, brother. I'm sorry we got to hop because I need to mention that KQ Up North is happening again. Join us with Hoffman Weber Construction on October 3rd through the 6th at Cragen's Resort on Gull Lake. Join us for a broadcast of the KQ Morning Show. There's going to be a karaoke party. There's going to be a dinner cruise. There's going to be live music and more. There's going to be golf. Watch out for the electrical boxes. Book your stay now at 92kqrs.com. Join us, won't you? It's going to be a blast. Sponsored by Hoffman Rubber Construction and Cragen's Resort on Gull Lake.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on Minnesota's classic rock. 92 KQRS.
Good morning. Journeys any way you want it. If you want some toast, I like it a little more on the well done side. That's just me. It is time right now to play a game. And as it's Monday, I may have just tipped our hand a little bit, but we've got tickets to see Extreme and Living Color September 22nd at the Mystic Showroom. And right now we need callers to call in and play a game to win those tickets. We'll take callers 9 and 2 at 651-989-ROCK. Callers 9 and 2 will compete on a Monday game to win tickets to see Extreme and Living Color. Call in, get involved. Let's have some fun. What do you say? And while we're here, a little morning hello and shout out to Spring Lake Park. Good morning, Spring Lake Park. How are you?
Yeah, how is Spring Lake Park?
It's wet and springy as far as I can tell. But we're happy to have anybody in Spring Lake Park with us listening this morning. Specifically, want to say hi on the KQ Talking text line. And by the way, we're going to have to get back into this a little later in the show. A lot of dumb injuries, as things devolve and we start talking about dumb injuries. We've had a few of the greatest calls that we've had since I got to Minneapolis already today in terms of dumb injuries. And a text came in from Liz, who was texting. She said, hey, Ryder, have you noticed the common denominator in all of these dumbass accidents? Yeah, Liz, okay, listen, we're trying to impress the ladies, okay? That's why the men are responsible for 99% of the dumb injuries and accidents in the world. We're just trying to look cool. Give us a break, would you?
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, it's, although I'm not sure the golfing one,
I think it's just that maybe the ladies don't really want to relive some of the stupidest things that we've ever done. But,
that's true.
That might be the case.
That's true. When the women are hanging around and they're drinking a box of white wine, talking about injuries, it's always like, oh, I remember, Karen, that was terrible. When dudes are sitting around with a case of beer talking about their injuries, it's like, oh, you broke the hell out of that leg, Sam. It's just a whole different response system. You know what I mean? That's just how that works.
Yeah, and we're going to get injured drinking that case of beer talking about dumb injuries, too.
If we do it right, we will.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Have we got some callers ready to rock or what?
We're ready to go, Mr. G.
I'm very excited, Tony. Hit it, baby.
Yay. It's time again to beat the toaster. Here's what we do. There's a toaster right here in the studio. Yeah, we fancy like that. We pop a slice of bread in there. Then we give you a category that requires some thought, and you list and name spontaneously whatever pops into your head, as many as possible. But you only have 15 seconds to do so before the toast pops. Boom.
I'm already laughing. I'm already sweating. Let's get to it. Who is contestant number one, Tony?
Number one is our buddy Luke from Waconia.
Luke, good morning.
Good morning.
Luke, give me your favorite band.
Boston.
Favorite team, any sport?
Crystal Palace Football Club from the Premier League in England.
Crystal Palace? What did you bump your head when you were making a choice that day? Man.
No, see, as a Minnesotan, as a fan of those small market teams, I couldn't go for anybody too big.
No, that totally makes sense. I get it. Well, good. Maybe you'll jump the pond. I believe, what is it? Selhurst, I think, is where they play over there. It's a legendary squad. All right, I'm digging it. We don't get a lot of Crystal Palace fans here. Nope. But right now it's time to take some bread, stick it in the toaster, and put you on the hot spot. Are you ready to play?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
All right, Lukey Luke, here you go. You are going to go camping. What are some things you're going to pack? Go.
Tent, s'more sticks, tent stakes, a tarp, campfire, propane tank, extra wood, sleeping bag, mosquito spray, fly swatter, rain jacket, camping hat.
Okay, the question, has Luke ever gone camping? I think the answer is yes, he has.
Wow.
What was that total, Tony?
I got 11, but I'm going to knock off one because he said he's going to pack a campfire.
Yeah.
So let's go with 10.
Right.
Well, you can pack a campfire. You're just probably not going to make it all the way to the campsite before things go horribly awry.
I thought he meant campfire baked beans. Damn good.
Man. Luke, 10 is that's extraordinary. Well done, sir.
Very solid.
You are sitting in the clubhouse with an early lead. Sit tight. We're going to put you on hold for a minute before we get round 2 up and ready. But it's time for contestant number 2. Who we got?
That's our friend Chris, who's on his way driving to Burnsville.
Chris, good morning.
Yes,
Good morning, Chris. Hey, give me your favorite band, Chris.
Boy, that's such a mood thing, man. But I guess my go-tos are the Beatles, 1, Zeppelin and Floyd, 2A, 2B.
Beatles, Zeppelin, and Floyd. My man is not a fan of the underdog. All right, favorite team, any sport.
Favorite team, any sport. I grew up in New England. Number 4, Bobby Orr was my all-time hero, so I'm going to go with the Boston Bruins.
Wow. All right, fair enough. I like it. All right, Chris, it's time to beat the toaster. Round 1. Good luck to you.
Aye, sir.
All right, Christopher, my friend, what are some ingredients that you might find in trail mix? Go.
Raisins, granola, almonds, coconut, cashews, M&M's. Come on, man.
The toast has popped.
The toast has popped. What do we got, Tony? Is that 6 or 7?
I got 6. What was that? Maybe there was a last one there on 7.
I think it was 6.
Solid 6.
That's a solid. And by the way, that you make a good trail mix there. That sounds pretty darn good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't mess around when I make trail mix.
Hell no.
Just reminded me it's time for breakfast. Don't forget the dirt. All right. Very well played, Chris. Sit tight for a second. It's time for round 2, so we're going to bring it back to Luke. Crystal Palace fan. Luke, 10 is about as good as it gets around here. Let's see if you can double up. Good luck to you.
All right, Lucas. Name some fashion choices that are considered to be old people clothes. Go.
Corduroy hat, corduroy anything. Bell-bottom, cardigan sweater, bucket hat, gold watch, loafers, those high socks for diabetes, jean shorts.
Toast has popped.
Holy smokes, the high socks for diabetes.
Like
compression socks.
Yeah. I think you meant to say diabetes, but either way, Luke.
Well, yeah, little Wilford Brimley for you.
You got that right. That was awesome, man. All right, I got 8. Is that correct? We all think was that 8?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Whew, man. 18.
Diabetes.
There it is. 18 is real good effort there, Luke. Congratulations to you. Sit tight. We'll see what happens with Chris for round 2. All right, Chris, a strong start with 6. You got your work cut out for you, brother. Let's see if you can tie up Luke. Good luck, my man.
All right, Christopher. Name some movies that prominently feature a dog or have a dog as the star. Go to it.
Yeah, the dog is the star. Old Yeller. That's a tough one. My goodness. Old Yeller. Beethoven.
You got a couple there.
Man,
yeah, that was terrible.
I would have gone Lassie 2, Lassie 3, Lassie 4. No one knows how many Lassie sequels there were. Chris, solid effort, my man. I'm sorry it's not quite enough to get you over the top, but we very much appreciate you listening and calling and playing. Luke, my man, with 18. Very, very, very strong effort, sir. You have won tickets to see Extreme and Living Color September 22nd at the Mystic Showroom. Congratulations, my man.
Hey, thank you so much.
You got it. Right on. Wow.
Nice.
That guy's ready to camp at any moment. I mean, give him at a moment's notice. He knows exactly what's going in the trunk. That was impressive.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many
diabetes.
Diabetes. How about the fact, and you can never say this enough, like when Wilford Brimley, the movie Cocoon came out, those guys were all like still in their 50s and 60s, and we just thought they were so old.
Oh, yes.
That was so funny.
Weren't they in a retirement home, an old folks home?
Yeah, that was it.
Also, they were playing people that were much older. I never did see the movies, so.
Oh, it's a pretty good one, actually.
Cocoons, yeah.
651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. If you have got a dumb injury story, we are all ears. This text just came in from Brian. I got knocked out cold with a broken nose to boot by a goose.
Yeah.
Wow, going for a triple. Dead goose number 2 slammed into my face. Figured it was like a 10-pound bag of sugar doing about 30 miles per hour. Ouch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, brought it right out of the air down onto your face.
Oof.
That's goose going out with a little revenge.
I saw my Uncle Larry drive a golf ball about 2 feet off the ground at 600 miles an hour right into the side of a big swan.
Oh.
Yeah. And the sound that made, I mean, I can't replicate it, but I'll never get it out of my ears. It was just like a movie sound effect for somebody. It was like, okay, take a sledgehammer and hit it into that giant pillow. It was like, it was the weirdest sound. And that damn bird, it just fell over. We were like, oh, well, there's nothing to say. It was like, oh. That was bad.
I hit
that was really bad.
And hit a duck one time.
Oh, really?
And it did. It just went.
I was the duck once. I was cutting across a fairway on my way home from the pool as a kid, and I didn't hear the word "for." I had no warning, but a drive just drilled me right in the shoulder blade on the fly off a guy's driver, and it knocked me down. I mean, I hit the dirt. And the dude came running up the fairway, freaking out. He was an older guy. It turned out he was a pharmacist, and he assumed it was a headshot the way I fell down. And he was screaming, "Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!" And I sat up, and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, just embarrassed more than anything. I was like, "Yeah, mister, I'm fine. Stop making a big deal of it." And he kept saying,
told
like,
the pharmacist you were fine, man. You lawyer up.
I didn't know he was a pharmacist until later. And then, because he actually, I don't know, somehow they figured out who I was. He called the house later to make sure I was okay. Well, I was okay, except for I had a welt on my shoulder blade, literally the size of a golf ball. Oh. It looked like the ball It looked like the ball implanted itself under the skin. It was kind of. That wasn't an embarrassing injury as much as it was just like, yeah, that kind of sucks. That's just one that sucks. But we've got a lot of great ones. We've had a few calls today that honestly I'll never forget. 651-989-ROCK. Dumb injuries. Let's have them. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good Monday morning, September the 9th. The car's just what I needed right there. Sometimes what we need is to just laugh at ourselves. The dumb injuries that we have, the situations we put ourselves in where we came up on the short end. We've been talking about dumb injuries all morning. We've already had a few bangers in terms of great all-time phone calls, a ton of text messages. 651-989-ROCK. Please text or call in with your dumb injury story. I believe we have Tim on the horn right now. Tim, good morning. Tim, you with us?
Timmy!
We're trying to get Timmy here. Give me 1 second.
I'll give you one. I'll give Tim 2-3 seconds, Ryder. How about that?
Excellent.
Just let me know. On the text line, so many good ones. Let's see. That's right. We heard this one from Amy. I'm Amy, broke my back on the slip and slide with my grandson. I just had my left shoulder replaced, and on the way in the door from the hospital, I tripped up the stairs and ended up back in the hospital for my shoulder, but in addition, broke my left foot. So now I have a sling and a walking boot. I'm going to shop for a helmet just in case. Yeah. Amy, sister, we gotta we gotta look out for Amy. Let's bubble wrap Amy, can we? Can we do that? Can we get the bubble wrap police over to Amy's house stat?
Good plan.
Man, I believe we have another Tim on line 1 right now. Tim, good morning.
Hey, good morning. I was waiting in line at ER with a bloody hand from cooking. A woman comes in behind me with her friend. Her friend accidentally grabbed her fingernail glue, thinking it was her eye drops.
Oh,
she glued her eyes closed, and she did both of them.
Both of them.
I guess it happens, and she probably was going to be okay, but at that moment, she didn't know if she'd glued her eyes closed forever or what.
Yeah, so the fingernail glue hits the first eyeball, and she thinks,
she didn't notice it, and hit the second one. She hit the second one. If you ever put eye drops in, it's quick. If you're a regular eye drop user, I get it.
If I'm a regular eye drop user, I use eye drops, and not.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I know which bottle I'm grabbing.
Distinguish. How's that not distinguished? How come lawyers haven't gotten into that? But anyway, so anyway, that was a dumb. She did something stupid. I let her go first. I yeah.
Now
that's
get some rest.
Day, guys.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Some will call me Tim.
I used to open up the Visine and sniff it trying to get high. So, I mean, there's things, you glue, eye drops. It's easy to get these things.
We've heard about your Visine bottle.
Easy to get these. Oh, that's right. I did have some liquid LSD in an eye drop bottle once, but left that bad boy. It's probably still in a trash can at the security at the Milan airport. Somebody's still looking for it right now. I'm sure it's still good. On the KQ Talking text line, driving my motorcycle in South Dakota. Wait, driving or riding? I guess, whatever. In South Dakota, in a small town north of Sioux Falls called Renner, a yellow jacket or bumblebee I could see coming hit me right in between my head and helmet, and I about lost it trying to come to a stop to get that bee out of my helmet. Stung me right in the temple. Oof.
Ah.
Yeah. You ever had that happen, Bri, on the bike?
On the neck, yeah. And I was just out cruising around the cornfields, checking the corn, as I call it, in southern Minnesota, probably Carver County down there. And yeah, I caught a wasp in the neck, and I know it was a wasp, and it stung in my hand. My right hand went numb, my throttle hand. And I thought, God, I better pull over. I got a little dizzy. The back half of the hornet was still hanging out of my neck. I don't know what they call it. Yeah. Yeah, so I caught a hornet to the neck one time out rolling around. Not cool.
No, that's not good at all. Here's a text from John. You got to love how this one starts. A firework wouldn't go off. That's
Hold my beer.
Never going to end well. And the fuse was so short it was touching the tube. I grabbed a torch to light it. Sure. Instead of launching into the air, the whole thing exploded right when my torch touched it. Burned my hand so bad. I almost hate to read this. Burned my hand so bad it peeled like a glove.
Oh, darn it anyway.
Yeah, we're getting some doozies today. We got Doug on the horn. Doug, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Steve.
Doug, give me your favorite band.
I got two of them, Led Zeppelin and Black Crowes.
Hey, man, I like both those bands. What's your favorite team, any sport?
Fight Queens.
What's that?
Fight Queens.
The Vikings.
Oh, yep. Gotcha. All right, good one. Doug, what's your story for us, brother?
Okay, so some years ago, I meet my brother at the gun range, and we're sighting in our rifles for deer hunting. And my brother Don, who's in heaven, met me out there, and it's a VFW range in Lakeville. And I'm sighting in my rifle at 50. Everything's going good. Sighted in at 100. Everything's going good. And then I decided to practice shooting at 200.
Yeah.
Even though my longest shot probably is only 100 yards.
All right.
So I got my vise for my rest for my 270 rifle, and I decided I need to get it up a little bit on the bottom. Brian Zepp will appreciate this. So I'm looking around to try to find some lumber or something to put under it.
Yeah.
And I look down, and I see this little, 1.5-inch branch, about 30 inches long. And I decide, I'll just break this in half. I lay it up against the bench of the platform where I'm shooting, and I come down on it with my foot, and my heel goes straight down. My toes are pointing straight up, and I just snap my ankle.
Oh, my gosh.
Your ankle bone was less strong than a branch.
Yeah, and I saved the branch and brought it home anyway. But I sat back down and took 3 more shots at 200.
Sure.
Nailed the bullseye. Packed up my shit. Went home. I get home. I get on the couch and I literally pass out from the pain. My ex comes home and says, "You got a barbecue for my friend. And you get out and get some barbecue charcoal." I'm like, "I just messed up my foot at the range. I don't care. You get out and go do this." So I call up my friend Pat, and he's listening to us on the podcast or up in Oregon. Good morning, Pat. And so
Pat.
Hey,
Morning.
Pat. Hey, Pat. What's up, bud?
charcoal. I get back home, and I'm like, no, this ain't happening. I pass back out. I go to the doctor on Monday, and I fractured my ankle. I did what some women do, and they wear high heels. They fall off of them. That's to my Achilles. But that is the dumbest injury I ever occurred.
Yeah, breaking a branch.
Yeah.
Broke your ankle instead.
Yeah.
Oops.
So, like I said, I saved the branch. It turns out to be oak.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Well, that's in your favor, and you got your rifle sighted in.
Yeah, I know. I would have been a good soldier. All I got to say.
Right on. Doug, hey, thank you for the call, man. We appreciate it. And hey, Pat, good morning, Pat. Happy to have you listening in Oregon. 651-989-ROCK is the talk and text line. Listen to this text that just came in. First of all, a proper text because he lists his favorite band, The Regime, and his favorite team, Gopher Hockey. So thanks for that. Fall of 82, junior high flag football pregame. This is the week after homecoming for the high school team. We find the large rebar ring that the team ran through prior to the game. It had a homecoming 82 paper sign, the players' signatures. You know, you've seen that where they burst through the paper. They got the big ring the players run through. So a friend and I start rolling this ring around. My friends decide to run through it right in front of me. His timing is off. He kicks the ring, and it comes down quickly to the bridge of my nose. Blood starts pouring out. So what do? I ride my bike a mile home, increasing the blood flow while leaving a blood trail similar to what you will find hunting deer.
Sure.
I walk in the door. I explain it to my mom. She tells me Dad's out hunting behind the house, and I need to go find him. Of course he's hunting, so I have to sneak out there. After about 10 minutes, I find him. He rushes me to the hospital for a broken nose. I was about a quart low on blood. The doc shoots some blood into my arm, puts a Band-Aid on the impact point, and I'm out for the remainder of the football season.
What, Mom have a puzzle going or something?
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of...
minute
But thank you. A lot of twists and turns in that one. I'm sorry to take away from the busted nose, but what's up with Mom? Was she like, I'm sorry, honey, it's martini time?
The show was on.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Don't interrupt my stories. 651-989-ROCK. Mary Jo, we've got on the horn. Good morning, Mary Jo.
Good morning.
What have you got for us today?
I've got, it's another of my stupid husband broken bone stories. I've talked about it before.
Another.
But this one, my kid gave me crap the last time that I didn't tell this one. He was at a party in South Minneapolis, sitting on a railing of one of the old houses there.
Mm-hmm.
This real heavy broad was trying to put the moves on him and stuff. And he only weighed like 140 pounds max. He was like 6'3", never broke 140 pounds.
Yeah.
Well,
big gals like the little guys.
She got all amorous and comes up on him and threw him over the railing trying to hug him, and she fell on top of him.
Oh.
Pile drive him into the yard and busted his collarbone.
And how many kids do they have today? That's love at first sight, isn't it? No?
Yeah. And so then he had to drive home, but it was his right collarbone, and he had a Volkswagen stick. And somebody to ship for him as he drove home, and I had to take him to the hospital the next day when he had this bruise the size of a dinner plate on his chest.
That's the best first date story I've ever heard.
That's
I'm sure you'll be hearing from me in the future with more of my husband's dumb breaking bone stories.
Always happy to add another one to the list. Thanks for the call. We'll talk to you soon. Here's
her
one.
husband. I thought she said her son. So
No,
he's
husband.
already spoken for. All right.
Here's another. By the way, I mentioned earlier in the show, I said something about a little dab will do you, and a bunch of people did text in Dipsy Do. That was
Dippity Do.
Dippity Do.
Dippity Do.
I knew. Right. I said Dipsy. They said Dippity. I don't know why I said Dipsy. It's ridiculous. Dippity Do. Here's a good one. A text. An injury when I was 11. I was playing pool tag with some friends. I was tagged when I was sitting on the pool ledge. I saw another friend swimming, and I was going to dive in and tag him from underwater, but I landed on top of him, and my front teeth gouged in his shoulder, then slipped out and went through my bottom lip. Wow.
Blood in the water. It's a shark attack.
Did you guys ever play rag tag at the pool?
How does that
Don't
work?
know that one. Yeah,
it's like pool tag where you're jumping out to, it's like tag, but everyone has like a hand towel that is soaking wet, and you whip the snot out of the person to tag them. So you're literally smacking people and leaving welts on their body to tag them. Yeah, it gets violent and turns into just a series of off-ramp personal fights every time. You got like 8 people playing rag tag, and then every couple minutes, 2 guys square off and have a fight. It's real good drunken swim pool stuff. Yeah,
horrible game.
Sounds nice.
It's terrible. It's the word. It's the one of those things. Like, really, this is how bored are we that we think this is fun?
Right.
First of all, you all brought a hand towel to the pool. So
it's you'd get one towel and you just cut it up into you just take someone's towel and tear off streaks of it. Really, is how that works.
That's right.
Like, sorry, man. we needed to play rag tag. My mom's gonna kill me. It's my beach towel, man. You know how that goes. Hey, you can stream 92 KQRS on your phone. Get the app and listen anywhere you go. It is almost time for the top 5 at 9. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Wait for the gong. Gotta wait for the gong at the end of Bohemian Rhapsody. It is Monday, September the 9th. Good morning. If you're just joining us, man, have we had some amazing calls and text messages. Unfortunate, stupid injuries. I guess there's not such a thing as a fortunate, stupid injury. So just really embarrassing, stupid injuries we've all suffered. So many good ones throughout the day. If you've got one, 651-989-ROCK. Feel free to call and or text. This is a good one, and you got to love a text message that starts with, hey, how about a good eye injury story?
Sure.
In grade school during summer vacation, my sister and 2 neighbors went to putt-putt, mini golf all day for $1. We got a ride. We'd spend the day there. Of course, it was packed, plenty of time to kill. My buddy got a little bored and started to swing that club around like a pro. The last thing I remembered was him saying 4 as his club connected with my glasses, then my right eye. I went down with blood and glass covering my hand. The college kid running the place took quick action, and when the cop showed up, he threw me in the back of the squad car, not wanting to wait for the ambulance. That's like John Lennon style. All went well. Just a small scar to show for that round of golf with my buddy. A little excitement for the other kids that day. I had the same thing happen to me. It was a friend with a croquet mallet. He did the same. He went for the full swing and just gave me the greatest shiner of my life.
Oh, yeah. Got a broken nose from a baseball bat. Of course, I was playing a Little League game, and I got that mask off a little fast, and he got me on the backswing, where it comes, that full swing where it comes all the way around. I was just thinking of stupid injuries this morning and remembering that my sister chipped her tooth on a McFlurry. Remember the McDonald's McFlurries?
What?
Remember they had those little frozen M&Ms in there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure.
Chipped her tooth.
Oof, man! Did she go full litigation? I mean, it's not quite hot coffee in the crotch, but it's close.
No, I'm surprised she didn't. That's why she's still gutting it out as a teacher, I guess, like a sucker.
Wow. God bless all the teachers. Suckers, as we call them here on the KQ Morning Show.
I mean, just people that are working because they don't have to. We could sort this out in court. McDonald's, how much did they pay that old lady who clumsily spilled a cup of coffee on her lap?
It was a lot, and these things happen. So if you've got a story to share, feel free. 651-989-ROCK. My brother was a college kid, and he also worked at a miniature golf course. And not only that, he named it. They had a competition who can name a new putt-putt place, and he submitted the winning title, which I've always been impressed. Putchamacallit.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Isn't that a good name?
Yeah, it sounds like a franchise waiting to happen.
It should have been. See that, and you know why it's not a franchise? Because that brother, Dave Gorman, is a school teacher. See, the teachers they don't take advantage of the opportunities in front of them.
Right.
All that taking care of our kids and learning and spending all their own money on school supplies and working tireless hours. Please, he should have been a mini golf magnet. Anyway. As long as we're here, as long as we're having fun, I'd like to say good morning to our friends up in Anoka. Man, you know what's wrong with Anoka? Nothing.
Nope.
What a great town.
It's a groovy place.
A really groovy place. We had a blast up there earlier this summer. I've been back once since. That's me. I roll Anoka way. So good morning to everybody up in Anoka. Right now, we've got to by the way, I know we got a couple people on hold. Sit tight. We're going to come to you, but we have to give you the top 5 at 9 first, very quickly, to give you what you need to get your day started. If you get an email that says your spouse is cheating on you, well, it's going to be hard to delete it without looking into it. But that's the new scam. Sextortion scams are now targeting spouses. Scammers pretend to have hacked your computer to steal images or videos of you. That's an old one. Now they're saying, oh, no, we have your spouse cheating on you. And these things people are clicking on them. People are panicking. I guess if someone's already suspicious, this email it's just catnip. They can't not click on the link, and then you're hacked, and then they're into your bank account. Then they've got all your information. Trust me, if you get an email that says your spouse is cheating, just delete it and find out if they're cheating the good old-fashioned way. Get drunk and demand the truth.
Right, yeah. Yeah, wait till they walk away from their phone and then rifle through their phone. This is good news for the cheaters, though. I mean, they've got a fallback. Oh, that old scam? Is that what you're going for?
Oh, that old scam where you followed me to a motel and watched me bed another woman? Oh, please. How naive can you be? Oh, wait, that actually happened? Crap.
Eddie Murphy had the best line about that in his stand-up routine, Raw. He said, didn't happen. Didn't happen. But I just saw you with my own eyes. Didn't happen. Well, I don't know. Maybe it didn't. You just stick with it. Didn't happen.
Wasn't me.
I believe he also followed that up with, I blanked her. I blanked her, but I make love to you. That was the other.
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't know if that one ever worked. Hey, number 4 in your top 5 at 9. NFL fans are averaging your costs this season at the stadium for a hot dog and a beer, $15, which that's not crazy to me. A beer and a hot dog at the ball game for $15. It's more than I want to spend, but I was expecting it to be twice that. And in Minnesota, you're paying a little bit less at a Vikings game, about $14. That's not bad. I mean, I said earlier. By the way, I saw the Outlaw Music Festival Friday night. One of my favorite shows I've seen in years and years and years, truly. But got a couple beers, way more than $15. I mean, they were fleecing us out there, man.
Yeah, see, it's not bad if you're going to have a hot dog and a beer at a football game. But I mean, this is Minnesota. We're going to have 5 hot dogs and 5 beers. Then it starts to get a little spendy. It adds up.
That's true. It does add up. That's a very good point. So if you can hot dog and beer yourself pregame and then sit through the 4 quarters without going on, well, if you can do that, then you're no friend of mine. I mean, what is that? Planning ahead, please. Number 3 on your top 5 at 9. Jimmy Fallon, host of The Tonight Show, has been for years the only late night talk show host to work 5 nights a week. Everybody else just does 4, and then Friday is a rerun of like Monday or Tuesday. And now Jimmy Fallon has said, yeah, you know what? Screw it. Everyone else is doing 4-day work weeks. I'll do it too. So the lesson here is if you can, get a network late night talk show. You'll only work 4 days a week.
Oh, fingers are crossed.
Jeez, it's going to happen, Zep. It's going to happen. Don't give up the dream. Number 2 in your top 5 at 9. It is September the 9th. What's interesting about that? Well, this is the most common birthday in the United States. Isn't that crazy? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's got to be someday, but it's been September 9th for quite a while. It seems to come in every year. The top 10 days all fall between September 9th and September 20th. This is it. If you go back 40 weeks, you get to early December. What this tells us is between Thanksgiving and Christmas, all of us were just drinking a little too much and getting a little too frisky.
Oh, yeah. We're all in love again during the holidays, you know?
It's pretty incredible. The month of September, baby month, man. Go figure. And then finally on this day, oh, that's right. The Minnesota Vikings are undefeated. I don't care if they've only played once. They won. They did their job. You can only play the team in front of you. And yesterday, that team, thank God, was the New York Football Giants. Vikings with a 28-6 win, a convincing win, and not trying to be snarky at all. Sam Darnold looked really, really good. His one interception, his arm was smashed as he was throwing the ball. Otherwise, opened the game 12 for 12. A dominant performance. Very nice start for O'Connell and the Vikings this season. Justin Jefferson with a touchdown on a play that the team had just put into the playbook and had a hard time with at practice. Here's JJ.
We literally just worked on that play a few days ago, and we didn't connect on that play. So just communicating with each other, trying to make sure that we're on the same page. I'm in the right spot. He's throwing it to the right spot. And, I mean, everything that we talked about happened exactly out there on that play. And it was a beautiful ball. It was a wonderful start. Just giving him that confidence, giving him that juice to throw me a ball whenever it's double. Because I was double during that play, and him throwing it to a spot and me going to get it, that's going to happen majority of the time during the season. He got to understand, even when I'm doubled, I'm still open.
Yeah, even when he's doubled, he's still open. Throw me the ball.
It's a great line, man. He's got to understand. I love that.
Yeah, just keep bringing them. I've got Vikings fans that were feeling a little glum a week or two ago. That buddies of mine that are all the way now with Sam Darnold, and there were some really good things about that Vikings game, even though it was against the Giants. You know who didn't have a good day under center in the NFL yesterday? Kirk Cousins.
No, he did not.
Suck it.
Anybody wondering what we would look like with Kirk Cousins in his late 30s coming off that Achilles? What I saw yesterday, and I didn't watch the whole game, but I was going back and forth, and I never saw one moment where I was like, hey, he's going to be okay. He looked awful.
Yeah, he looked like Kirk Cousins.
looked like
Kirk Cousins. Everybody talks about the great season he was having last year. Remember when he got hurt, we were 1-4. All right, Sam Darnold, all the way to the Super Bowl, baby.
Here we go, Sammy. We're going to ride the Sammy train. It's a great start. Like I said, you can only play the team in front of you. It's going to get a little tougher next week when the Niners come to town. But you know what? We'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it as it is. 651-989 is the KQ talk and text line. We're talking injuries on the show now. We've got a few people that want to share a story. Have we still got Kent on hold? Kent, are you with us?
Kent should be there. Hey, Kent.
Kent, baby. All right.
Yes.
Hey, there he is. All right, Kent, let's have it. What do you got for us today, brother?
Oh, man, I was ice fishing with my son, and it was first ice, no snow on it, and then all of a sudden it snowed a little bit, quarter inch of snow on top of the ice, and all of a sudden we started catching walleyes, and he catches one. I mean, he's got it hooked, and the pole is bent down into the hole, so I jumped up. I'm going to go over to him and help him out, and I fell, slipped on the ice, landed with my foot right under my seat.
Oh.
And I know. And he wound up dragging me off the ice in a sled to back to the landing, back to the truck.
Oh man! What about the walleye?
He caught the wall. He caught the walleye. And then so I called my wife on the way, and I go, "Hey, we're going to emergency. I did something to my leg." She says, "Okay, well, pick me up on the way." Okay, I pick her up and everything. We get to emergency, and they haul me into X-ray, and they did the X-ray. The technician's doing it, and I asked the technician, "Okay, what do you see?" She goes, "I think you hurt yourself very, very badly."
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's a rough one.
Yeah, so she couldn't, of course, tell me what was wrong, but I did find out I broke my femur.
Oh, femur. That's a big bone.
That's a lot. That's a lot of bone.
Oh,
ouch,
thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Ken. We appreciate you listening, brother. Let's get another one in here. Have we got Rob still on the hold?
Fallen.
Have we got Rob? Are you with us?
Robbie.
Oh, Rob.
How are you?
Hey, there you are, brother. What do you got for us?
My older brother was getting ready for a Little League game, and my sister was sitting on the bed talking to him. She was younger than him, so I'm guessing she was probably 8 or 9. And she had a coat hanger in her mouth while she was talking to him, which was his uniform used to be on. He reached over to grab the coat hanger, caught her tongue, and ripped her tongue.
Oh!
Ripped her.
The tongue rip. That's the one we were missing so far today. Yeah.
Had to go to wherever they went then, back in the 70s, and had to have her tongue sewed up.
Oh, I bet there's not a lot. Can you numb the tongue? I don't know. I'm thinking about, I told a story earlier, they couldn't numb the tip of my finger for a few stitches, but stitches in the tongue, owie.
That's a rough one.
My brothers, being the smart Alex that they are, then for years would say, "What's the matter, Pam? A hanger got your tongue?"
There you go. There you go. That's a classic. Rob, thank you for the call. That's a great one. I love that he said we had to take her wherever they would go back in the 70s. Like it was, well, you got your torn tongue, you better go to old lady McIntosh's house. What is that? Where the hell did they send you? I guess there weren't a lot of pop-up clinics and stuff. The quick clinic turnaround there. That is brutal. All right, we got who have we got? Is Donna still on the horn?
Hey, I'm Donna.
Hey, Donna, good morning. What have you got for us?
So I went on a trip many, many moons ago to Durango, Colorado.
Ooh,
right? And
very nice.
Love it. Yeah.
There's a college there I really wanted to go to, so I set up an appointment. I said, yeah, I'll be there. First day, I went with my friend, got up early. I'm like, you know what? Let me go for a walk. Went for a walk. It was mountains, rocks, and there was this beautiful rock. I'm like, it can't be any different than a gym. So I started climbing it. Went up about 15 feet and fell, thinking I was just going to land back on the path. But I ended up in a tree. And I was upside down, and this itty-bitty school bus goes, rolling along. Had to wait probably about an hour till somebody could help me get out of the tree. And, it's another bunch of people from the resort. They got management and got a ladder, made our way through. Got back to the room, decided to wash up, cover up my scratches. My friend's like, hey, we're going whitewater rafting. I'm like, cool. Yeah. So we go whitewater rafting, get in a raft, and one of the men that helped me get out of the tree decided to sit next to me, which was great, but he's like 300 pounds from Jersey.
What?
And,
in a raft?
Yeah. And as they're trying to explain how to be on a raft, he's just talking about what happened to me earlier, which I was trying to forget about. And, of course, you know what happens. Go over a wave. Instead of putting his head down or holding onto the rope, no, he swings his arms out, knocks me off. And I'm trying to drive. I finally get to, this smooth clearing. And I just sit there waiting for, the truck that comes by to pick up people that fall off. I get bit by a scorpion.
What in the hell?
This is not my day. So
go back to the Midwest, young lady.
Right? So I'm in the water just to, clear the sting. Go to the local hospital. They fix me up and take care of some of my scratches in the morning. They go, you should take it easy. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Next day. So day 2, my friend's like, hey, we're going to go on a train. This should be easy for you. I'm like, cool. We go outside. It's in the morning. It's 76 degrees. I'm like, oh, this is great. So got sandals on, shorts, T-shirt. I'm good to go. We're going up to Silverton.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I'm like, this would be cool, cowboy country. By the time we get to Silverton, the weather changed. It was 39 degrees and snow slush.
Jeez.
So, let's just say I went back to the hospital for hypothermia.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Hypothermia, they have nice colleges in Minnesota. They're not dangerous, very temperate weather.
I was living in Baltimore at the time, so for me, going to a small town would be ideal. And so the third day, I get to the college, and I get to the office, and I'm like, you know what? I changed my mind. Dodging bullets is so much easier than being here.
Yeah. Jeez. Donna.
Yeah.
I'm Donna, I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but I'm worried about the rest of my day just having talked to you right now. This is, my God, woman. All right, I'm glad to know you're still able to use the phone and you're still in one piece. Thanks for the call. We got to hop.
Have a great one.
See ya. Man, Donna coming in. I mean, when she got to day 3, I was like, oh my God, how much worse can this get?
Right.
A lot of incredible text messages. We'll still try to get to some. And by the way, yet another correction. It was Brill Cream, a little dabble do you. Not Dippity Doo. That was another thing, but Brill Cream was the official little dabble do you, as I've been reminded by 30 or 40 different people texting me because I'm an idiot. Thank you for that.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.